I want to talk about that, right? Sire Spirits.
Yeah.
So, all right, Sire Spirits, completely black-owned, like you said, liquor company. Talk about that, because I know you had challenges before that, right? So, talk about that whole situation.
Yeah, you have the experience with major corporations like me. My particular experience with being Centauri, it was great in the beginning. It's great for us to work for them. It's not so cool when you start to own things.
Welcome to T.R.A.A.P TV and Soul Culture Productions, TTSCP. Today we got a special video. There's a lot of crazy things that's going out. A lot of crazy things that's going out in this world, that's happening in this world. There's a lot of crazy things that's going out. It's a lot of crazy things. So I want to dissect some of those crazy things and talk about the bigger message and some of those issues. Talk about Diddy real quick. I just want to say a quick thing.
I want to talk about that, right? Sire Spirits.
Yeah.
So, all right, Sire Spirits, completely black-owned, like you said, liquor company. Talk about that, because I know you had challenges before that, right? So, talk about that whole situation.
Yeah, you have the experience with major corporations like me. My particular experience with being Centauri, it was great in the beginning. It's great for us to work for them. It's not so cool when you start to own things.
And I'm gonna let the video explain the rest of it.
You see what I'm saying? So I made a lot of money with them too. Like, there's a point, they did a deal that mirrored what Puffy's deal with Diageo was for T.R.A.A.P. So he didn't have ownership of that at any point, but he was getting a lot of money, like almost like $60 million a year at one point. So when you see him go to De Leon is when you see him have some issues. And they get bad. You know, and these people have really strong relationships. Don't think that the civil case doesn't turn into a criminal case faster because he's making them uncomfortable. That's a big part of it. You know what I mean? Like, you look, when you go to the spirits businesses, it's not governed. They got a discus board that they created, right? If you got two companies that are...
I like to pause it and give some context. It's not the first time I've heard that. And I could pull up another interview if you want me to. I'll go through the time to find it and pull it up. And obviously, I think your initial reaction will be like, well, you're pulling up shitty people. Martin Shkreli said the same thing. Martin Shkreli said what happened was the way we were impacting this market started messing with a lot of people who had a lot of, financial stake in the game. And he said, what usually happens is all these companies have the best law firms known to man. And if you know anything about law, a lot of times if you're a top company, your general counsel used to probably be working for the SEC or working for maybe some federal agency before they really got the bag in their private practice being your general counsel. And it's one of those things where if you're that big company and you say, yo, this guy Diddy or this guy Martin Shkreli is giving me hell, they say that to their general counsel, who makes a call to the U.S. attorney, who says, oh, we'll open up an investigation. And if you kind of realize at a point, if you got a lot of shit going on, we've heard all type of charges. They could find some charge to get you down on. And this kind of seems about to be what a thing, right? If we're believing 50, you start barking up the tree of Diageo, all of a sudden there's investigations that pop off. Now, we can't dismiss the Cassie thing, right? But still, you start barking up that tree, a lot of different things and investigations start falling down. So let me keep playing.
$3 billion a year, and Beam Centauria and Diageo, the distribution level, it's very hard for you to get things to a point where you can do the numbers, the right numbers, the amount. So it's kind of like they incentivize the sales force by giving them box bonuses. And then when you sell a product, you get the bonuses off the boxes that's there. But you make that no matter what product you're selling. So if you sell Hennessy or Remy out the gate, they start to put downward pressure on the new companies. You see, I had a lawsuit with Remy. They said that because I had an oval-shaped bottle, that there was some sort of product confusion, and I'm like, where? It's a big B in the middle of the fucking bottle. Like you don't own the shape, the whole shape of the bottle, you know. And then we had went in there for a little while until it came, you know. I started saying shit like 1738. I bet they had slaves. Then shit got uncomfortable, and it was like, look, relax, okay? Can we make donations to existing foundations to make you feel happy? Yeah. Yeah, and it went away. But they do spend $63 million targeting African American male consumers a year.
One thing Diddy was talking about at this money conference was saying how even when you at a millionaire or billionaire level, you still gotta face issues regardless of what level you're at. Middle class, lower class, billionaire, millionaire, trillionaire status.
Interesting to watch 50 even say this, because 50 is clearly like Diddy's biggest op, right? Like publicly. And watching him kind of even admit that, yo, shit, a lot of this shit that's happening to you right now. Number one, I don't think it's because he's saying this because he gives a fuck about Diddy. I think he sees that now he's about to bark up some trees. Because you do realize that 50, he's been pretty impervious, but he's kind of stuck within the confines of all these companies. We've seen him when he did try to get into the headphone business with Sleek. We saw how that happened. Yeah, he sued them, but he ain't really make the dent. His biggest deal was probably Vitamin Water. Okay, cool, but Coca-Cola, he didn't directly go against Coca-Cola. He hasn't really necessarily gone up against like some of these behemoths as we're seeing Jay-Z has done, which, by the way, I think Jay-Z is the only person who could probably say he's been, you know, successful from a takedown or been impervious to a takedown. Remember, Jay-Z went against Apple Music and Spotify with Tidal, right? And even if, you know, I still believe that, you know, he, you know, was pimping culture to get us to fuck with him, shit, he was getting at their bottom line, their market share. And if we're believing 50 here, where it's like, yo, if you fuck with people's bottom line and market share, they might just get a criminal case, get you investigated for a criminal case and maybe even charged. Jay seemed to avoid that. But also, we got to point out that Jay started aligning himself with a lot of white men who are also very powerful. The Michael Rubins, the Jack Dorseys, like that's his crowd. He's not hanging with a bunch of niggas no more, right? And maybe, you know, maybe Diddy was just out of line. But I do think the reason why he doesn't just throw Diddy under the bus is that, well, ain't 50 going to Shreveport to try to build a movie studio? Don't we say more than even the music business, the film entertainment business, the TV, like that business is really controlled? And God knows what maybe they've tried to do with Tyler Perry, but do you think they want somebody like 50 now, you know, being the sole production company that's sending the majority of films, whether it be cultural or not, to platforms like Stars or maybe even other like streaming platforms at this point? No. So I do think, you know, Diddy's thinking about his own mortality, because if you believe this at all, you don't think they're coming for you? You're trying to make the billion. Where 50 is at, he's trying to make the $1 billion play. Jay Ben made the $1 billion play. Jay's a billionaire. Diddy Ben made the $1 billion play, right? Kanye made the $1 billion play, but he stepped out of line. They claim he's no longer a billionaire. 50, he realizes his turn. He's making the $1 billion play. So I think this is why he doesn't just completely be like, yo, Diddy, what's up? Like, of course he doesn't like the guy, but I think his satisfaction is in the fact that Diddy's in jail and can't fuck his baby mamas no more. I think that's his satisfaction. But this other stuff that's happening, I think he has to be smart enough to realize, well, if you believe any of that, you realize that they're coming for you next, right?
Long story short, I'm not here to condone any of the stuff that he did. A lot of the issues that he's going through now might be due to a deeper message. But I just want y'all to open y'all minds up to some of the stuff that's happening.